Hello everybody, welcome back to the Praetorian. Before I get started, I'd like to start off with my usual introductory statement. Thank everybody for listening, and we appreciate all the likes, the subscribes, and we would also appreciate it if you could share these posts. The reason why it's so important to share these posts is because the Praetorian is 100% organic reach. That means that we do not pay for boosts, we do not pay for subscribers or likes. This is 100% organic, and we take pride in that. We wish to bring information to people with as little money involved, make it as free and cheap as possible for everybody. We don't support Patreon and people having to pay for any kind of information in the media that most of the supposed alternative media sources claim that they believe in. So by doing this, we believe that it's actually working on the problem when it comes to internet alternative media, and it's not hiding our heads in the sand. So that's why we do this. So if you could please like, subscribe, and share, we would greatly appreciate it. With all that said, let's continue with the topic. Thank you. Hello everybody, this is the Praetorian. I am back for another 15 minutes to talk about some of the things that I've discussed in my previous videos. First, I want to tell everybody that this will make my 48th video since I started doing this. I had 11 before that, but this is the videos that I have that I'm talking about with actual voice. At my 50th video, I'm going to give it a break for a while. This is getting to be kind of a burnout for me. After a while, I like to take a break and then think about some of the stuff that I've gone over. That way later on I can come up with some better material. The two videos that I am making up now, the first one you just heard a little bit of it. It's these videos are going to concern the Department of Justice. It's also going to talk about John Jay, the first basic Attorney General that was appointed by the Department of Justice back whenever it was formed, and then about Jay's treaty and things of that nature. The thing that I have an issue with about him is, he was one of the people that were the founding fathers who didn't believe that the Bill of Rights was necessary. Him, Hamilton, and quite a few others. And I do agree to an extent about what they said about we do have more rights, and the Bill of Rights kind of leaves the impression that those are the only rights we have, but I also believe that is just basically a load of shit, because I've also done some further reading into it, and because we didn't put the Bill of Rights into effect immediately, it caused issues with England, which later led up to the War of 1812. These were men who didn't like the Bill of Rights because John Jay even said it himself, with the Articles of Confederation, which I agree. The Articles of Confederation was a complete failure, and it didn't give any power to the federal government at all, which caused the states to fight amongst one another, and Georgia was even ready to join back with England. But in his statement, he mentions going to war. He's like, the United States can go to war, but they wouldn't have any power to support that, and I think that that's a load of shit right there. And the reason why is because, like, today we have a volunteer army, and we do just fine. It was just after the Revolutionary War here in the United States when he made that statement, and every single person that fought in the Revolutionary War were volunteers. They weren't drafted. These were volunteers who fought to be free, So I don't agree with that in that particular statement. What I do see is a group of men who wanted to have power over the people, and they enjoyed the idea of forcing people into the Navy and the Army to fight for the country, and that belief is what eventually led up to the draft. And coincidentally, the Bill of Rights in the late part of the 20th century is what finally got rid of the draft here in the United States, and we've done perfectly fine without it. And see, when I was mentioning the War of 1812, the reason why I said that is, see, with the Bill of Rights, it recognized American, or the United States citizens as citizens. And after the Revolutionary War, and with the conflict that was going on with France and England, Americans got caught up in a lot of the politics behind all that, and English sailors, or English battleships, were literally going on American boats and arresting people that left the English Army or the English Navy and became Americans, and they were sending them to English prisons, or they were forcing them to serve in the British Navy against their will. And the United States kept having issues with that, and it eventually led up to us. Believe it or not, we're the ones who started the War of 1812, and the reason why we did it was because of those actions. The United States had a big ego, and our egos were being deflated. So in between the Revolutionary War and the War of 1812, we were building up one of the biggest navies in history, and that is a historical fact. You can check it out. By the time the War of 1812 happened, we had the largest navy in the world, and that was what caused the War of 1812. And if we had the Bill of Rights in place, that would have never happened. And a lot of scholars can agree, or have agreed with that. It's true. But instead, these people didn't want us to have the rights that the Bill of Rights give us, right? They wanted a government that was ran off of just the Constitution. And if you look at the Constitution, you'll see that there's very little when it comes to rights for the citizens. It's all pretty much set up to where it creates a federal government, and it gives the rights to the federal government and gives the rights to the sovereignty. And the sovereignty only has 3 rights, basic rights, inside of the Constitution. And I've said it before, it's the freedom to religion, it's the right to sue or be sued, things like that, and then the separation of state and religion and stuff, just all that. That's what it was about. There's very little that it gave for rights, and that leads into the whole Federalist and the anti-Federalist too. If you want to find out about that, read about it. You'll be amazed by it. It's the way that the government even treated the anti-Federalist is kind of appalling. But anyhow, like I said, I'm only going to do 4 more of these, and I wanted to also mention to everybody too the monetization. I've been checking that out on YouTube, and if you're having problems with monetization and them not accepting your videos, go into your closed captions option in editing and get rid of that auto closed captioning, because that is what's causing a lot of those problems. I've been going in there and getting rid of it and just manually put something in there. If you have your own writing on a blog or something, copy and paste it in there and publish it, or just, put something in there to take its place, and that should take care of the problem. I've been doing that and it's been working out pretty good. I've only had one issue. So that is something that I keep wanting to say and I keep forgetting to say. I don't know why I keep forgetting, but I do. I'm sitting outside in the morning listening to the birds, so if you guys hear that, then that's one beautiful background music. You gotta admit that. There's nothing better than that. I'm going to keep this down to 10 minutes because I'm having issues with my music. I'm wanting to put music into my videos, but I'm not able to really get the volume straight yet. So I'm going to get off here, and I hope each and every one of you have a great day. Alright, we have come to the end of our 15 minutes, so I'm going to stop here, and I will get back to this later on at a better time. I would like to say again, thank you for listening, and have a good night. Have a good day.